welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something fascinating, the incredibly structured world of in-home sales. We're going to look at it through the lens of a really detailed roofing sales playbook.
Yeah, we've gone through quite a bit, sales manuals, bits of training material, internal memos. And our goal here for you is to pull out the core ideas, the sort of psychological tricks that turn a big, scary decision like replacing your roof into something, well, clearer, guided.
It's not just about what they do, but why they do it.
Right.
How every single step is designed to lead you somewhere.
Exactly. It's all very strategic.
Okay, so picture this playbook. It's so detailed, it breaks down like every interaction, every moment. Each step has a specific goal. We're not just talking about selling shingles here.
No, it's about guiding someone to make a decision. And we're looking at this 10-step process. It covers everything, from the hello at the door to the final paperwork. It's a blueprint.
A blueprint built on some core ideas.
Yeah, the whole thing rests on this foundation of doing it right the first time and giving you permanent, worry-free solutions. That's the language they use.
So less hard sell, more structured conversation.
Precisely. It feels more like a value discussion. And every single step is meant to knock down potential objections, build trust, before you even voice them sometimes.
Okay, so let's dive into those steps. It starts with the warm-up and profile, you said. Not jumping straight to the leaks in the roof.
Right. Building rapport first and qualifying. That's key. The absolute first goal is just meet, warm up, profile a customer. And before they even think about showing pictures or samples, they have to check 3 things.
3 crucial things.
Yep. 1, are all the homeowners the ones actually on the title present? 2, can they verify income somehow? And 3, are all the decision makers actually there in the room?
And if one of those is a no?
Reschedule. Period. The playbook is really clear.
Yeah.
Don't waste time if you can't actually close the deal right then and there.
Wow. Okay, so assuming everyone's there, what happens next? The actual greeting.
It's super choreographed, like a specific script they're supposed to say, verbatim. Big smile, pause, handshake, maybe a little joke to break the ice.
And then questions.
Open-ended ones, always open-ended at this stage. Things like, what caught your attention that made you invite us out? Or how long have you known about the roof problems?
Trying to get the customer's story first.
Exactly. And critically, they're told specifically not to ask things like, have you gotten other bids? Or what's insurance paying?
Why not? Seems like relevant info.
Too adversarial, too early, puts people on the defensive right away. They want cooperation, not confrontation at this point.
That makes sense. And you mentioned a subtle way they ask about problems.
Yeah, this is clever. Instead of, what's wrong with your roof, they might ask, what do you like about your roof?
Huh. How does that work?
It sounds softer, less accusatory, but people will naturally pivot to the problems anyway. Well, I like the color, but, it lowers resistance.
Sneaky. And income. How do they verify that without being intrusive?
Conversationally, just woven in. So what do you do for a living? Oh, how long have you been doing that? Enjoy it. Benefits decent. It feels natural just chatting, but they're gathering data.
And this stick of dynamite thing.
Ah, right. For people who've lived in the house a long time, early on, they might drop a line like, wow, after 20 years here, it'd probably take a stick of dynamite to get you outright.
Okay. Why?
It establishes their commitment to the home, gets a little yes to that idea, and they bring that commitment back up later in the sale. It's an anchor.
Okay, so rapport built, qualification done. What's step 2?
Step 2 is measure. This is where they get the technical specs, but it's also about transparency, setting expectations.
Not just about square footage then.
No. The objective is capture the exact roof details, yes, but also prep the customer for the photo review that's coming. They'll say something specific like, okay, I'm going to do a full inspection roof, gutters, attic, and grab photos so you see exactly what I see. Shouldn't take long, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Setting expectations for speed and clarity.
Precisely. And they use all the tools tape, laser, pitch gauge, chalk, moisture meter, even an IR camera sometimes. There's usually software involved like Hover that needs specific photos from specific angle.
8 mandatory photos.
Usually,
Yeah.
from precise spots. But they're also taught manual measurement, breaking the roof into triangles and squares, just in case there's no cell service or the tech fails.
Always have a backup plan.
Always. They even calculate waste factors, extra material needed based on the roof's complexity, like 9-15% for fiberglass, maybe 10-15% for metal. It's all factored in.
Super detailed. And this inspection is quick.
Supposed to be. Ideally 10-20 minutes outside. They need specific photos, lifting a shingle to see layers, gutters showing granule loss, attic shots, decking condition, plus clear pictures of at least 3 different roof problems, and things like vents and flashing.
And these photos get uploaded right away,
Immediately, for documentation and for the next step.
which is inspection and urgency, right? This sounds important.
Oh, it's critical. This is
Yeah.
where they deliberately shift the customer's thinking. The goal is to take them from, we've probably got a couple more years on this roof, to, oh my God, we should have done this years ago.
Creating that sense of urgency, how?
It's all about how they present those photos they just took. They use a strict 3-part talk track for each problem photo. Why? What happens?
Can you give an example?
Sure. They might show a photo and say, okay, see this? This is granule loss. That's the what. Now, those little granules, they protect the asphalt underneath from the sun's UV rays and the crazy heat in your attic, like 120 degrees plus. That's the why. When that asphalt gets cooked, it cracks, lets water seep in, swells the wood decking. Just last month, I had a customer who ended up spending an extra $8,000 just replacing rotted decking because they waited too long. That's what happens.
Wow. Connecting a visual to a consequence and even a specific past cost, that's powerful.
It really is. It taps into loss aversion, fear of future costs, and notice the language they always call defects, problems, never issues.
Why the distinction?
Because, as the playbook says, issues can be pushed off, but problems must be fixed. It reframes the severity immediately.
So they highlight common problems. Curling shingles, rots, mold.
Exposed nails, under ventilation. They talk about attics hitting 160 degrees, causing cracks and high energy bills, ice dams, leak paths, even algae streaks, which they point out affect like 85% of curb appeal.
And ventilation's a big part of it.
Huge. They explain how hot attics cook the roof in summer and how moisture buildup in winter leads to rot. Then they position their solution balanced intake and ridge exhaust as the fix.
And how does this step wrap up?
With a mandatory commitment question, something like, obviously these are problems that need to be resolved, wouldn't you agree? They need that. Yes.
Securing agreement on the problem first.
Absolutely. And then it flows right into, so how did you hear about Erie? Grabbing marketing info and, crucially, what qualities matter most to you in the company you choose.
Setting up the next step.
Yes, exactly, which is all about the company. After showing you all these problems, the natural question is, okay, why should I trust you to fix them? This step tackles that head on.
Especially today, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can Google a company in seconds. How do they preempt that I need to do my research stall?
By basically overwhelming you with credibility up front. It's a rapid-fire delivery of proof points.
Like what?
Okay, get this. 50-plus years in business, over 350,000 installations, 100 offices, 44 states, fully licensed, bonded, $5 million insurance umbrella, then awards Bob Vila Legend Award, 4.8 Google stars, A+ with the BBB since 1980.
Wow, that's a lot.
And there's more. Partnerships with Habitat for Humanity, Mom's House, EPA Lead Safe certification. It's designed to just bombard you with reasons to trust them, answering questions you haven't even asked yet.
Leaving no room for doubt, essentially.
That's the idea. They also use something called the Path Responsibility mini-script. It's pretty clever.
How does that work?
It contrasts different ways to get a roof, like DIY. That's 100% risk on you, a general contractor. Well, they subcontract, maybe materials sit around, price goes up, responsibility gets diluted.
Then Erie's path.
They position themselves as the one accountable path. Manufacturer, their certified crew, simple, direct. And they make a point of saying they don't come back asking for more money if they misjudge something. It frames them as the safe, reliable choice.
Interesting. And they finish this stage how?
With 2 very specific questions, aiming for a no answer, delivered verbatim. Do you have any questions about my company? Hoping for no. And then, when you improve your home, would you have any reservations about doing it with Erie?
Again, seeking that no as a form of agreement.
Exactly. Getting those 2 no's clears the path to talk about the actual investment.
Okay, so step 5, the investment. This sounds like where the money talk starts, but maybe not directly.
Right. It's about reframing cost. Moving beyond just the price of this roof to the bigger financial picture, the goal is to get you to agree that a one-time permanent fix is smarter than paying for repairs or replacements over and over.
How do they start that?
With a couple of foundational agreements, they call them tie-downs. Simple questions seeking a yes, like, most folks tell me their home is their biggest investment. Would you agree? Yes. And doing the same thing over and over, like replacing a roof every 15 years, ends up costing more in the long run, right? Yes.
Getting agreement on basic principles first.
Yep. Then they often use a visual, the cost versus cost framework. They'll show how, say, one good metal roof costing $50,000 might seem like a lot.
But compared to replacing cheaper asphalt shingles 3 times over 25 or 30 years.
Exactly. At maybe $20,000 a pop plus inflation, suddenly the permanent solution looks way more cost-effective. They might even have an inflation story slide showing how material costs have jumped 10–12% annually recently. Waiting literally costs you money.
Makes sense. So it's not just about avoiding future costs, but also potential gains.
Right, that's the ROI story. They'll talk about how a new roof boosts home value, recouping maybe 40–60% of its cost in year one. Plus, potential insurance discounts, sometimes up to 30% for high-impact resistant metal roofs. Real money back in your pocket.
And they categorize roofs.
Yeah, usually into 3 tiers. You've got your basic entry-level felt paper, maybe installed by a handyman, short lifespan, iffy warranty, then mid-range, better underlayment, certified installers, real warranties, financing options, and finally, the elite level.
Which is where they position their product.
Typically, yeah. Premium everything, expert install, comprehensive lifetime type warranties. They frame it as the true lifetime solution. The point is to show how doing the entry-level thing multiple times quickly costs more than just doing the elite thing once.
Guiding you towards the higher value option.
And to make that bigger number feel less scary, they use that reduce to the ridiculous technique again.
Breaking it down daily.
Yep. A $30,000 project over 10 years. That's $8.33 a day. Less than your fancy coffee and muffin. It makes the big numbers seem manageable, almost trivial, on a daily basis.
And the final agreement for this section.
A commitment tied to affordability. So if the permanent solution fits the monthly budget, that makes it the wise investment. Wouldn't you agree?
Setting up the actual product reveal.
Perfectly. Step 6, the product. Now that you agree a permanent solution is wise, this is where they make you want their specific system. It connects all those problems they showed you earlier to their specific solutions.
How do they bridge that?
Smoothly. Something like, okay, so we agreed your home's your biggest investment, and doing things over and over costs more. Now let me show you why our system is that one-time solution that truly protects that investment.
And the psychology here. Benefits first.
Absolutely. Benefits before features. And crucially, they tailor it. They'll say, remember how we saw that curling on your shingles? Well, this system prevents that because they link the solution directly back to the problems you have.
Smart. What kind of products are we talking about?
Usually 2 main options. A high-end fiberglass architectural system. They'll highlight things like 130 mile/hour wind resistance, algae resistance from copper granules, maybe a class 3 impact rating, good warranty.
And the upgrade.
The stone-coated metal system, this is often the star. They push its longevity 50-year transferable warranty, is sometimes called a forever roof. They talk durability wind ratings, highest fire and impact ratings, class A4, no cracking, curling, rot.
And the savings potential again.
Yeah, energy savings from reflectivity, those potential insurance discounts. Plus, curb appeal, they stress the roof is like 85% of the visual, and they offer different looks, like shake or tile profiles. They might say it lasts 7 times longer than asphalt.
Do they do any demos?
Often, yes. A popular one is the nail seal demo. They'll take a sample shingle or panel, drive a nail right through it, maybe wiggle it around, and show how the material seals back around the nail. It's a visual proof of the waterproofing.
Tangible evidence.
Right. And they really hammer home the idea of a system. It's not just shingles. It's the underlayment, the drip edge, the flashing, the ventilation, everything designed to work together, color matched, maybe all stone coated, all covered by that same long warranty.
No weak links.
That's the message. No mix and match parts from the hardware store, no exposed nails, no guesswork. It's presented as a complete engineered solution.
And how does this stage end? More commitment questions.
You bet. 2 key ones. Do you have any questions about our roofing system? Hoping for no. And would either of you have any reservations about putting our system on your home? Again, aiming for no.
Getting closer to the actual decision.
Right into step 7, the pre-close. This is a really critical moment. Before they show you any price, they need a conditional commitment.
Conditional meaning.
Meaning, yes, we'll do it if the numbers work. The mission is to get that if the monthly payment fits, we're good to go today agreement.
And they have a script for this.
Oh, yeah. Memorized. Precise. It goes something like, John and Mary, look, this is something you're going to do eventually, right? If not now, then soon. And since it's really when, not if, let me show you how you might save a lot of money by doing it today. If I can work out a price, or even better, a monthly payment that fits comfortably into your budget, would you keep an open mind and at least consider getting this project started today?
Very carefully worded. What if the customer hesitates?
There's a follow-up built in, something like, look, we're offering some special promotional prices right now. Let's at least see what the numbers look like. Fair enough. It's a low-pressure way to get permission to proceed to the price presentation.
Keeping control, moving forward.
Always moving forward. Which brings us to step 8, price and financing. The moment of truth, maybe?
You'd think so, but the playbook has a specific way to handle this, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's probably the most sensitive part, and the process here is unique. The main goal isn't actually to close the deal yet. It's to figure out a comfortable monthly payment the customer can genuinely afford or confirm they're truly paying cash. Asking for the sale right now is considered a mistake.
Interesting. So they don't just drop the total price.
No. They assume most people think in terms of monthly payments, payment buyers, so they always start by talking financing, even if the customer mentioned cash earlier. If someone's a true cash buyer, they'll interrupt and say so.
Okay, so how do they find that comfortable payment?
They start high. They'll calculate the payment for the full project amount on a standard term, maybe quote something like $1,200 a month. Then, when the customer reacts, they start isolating the budget. They ask, okay, how much too much is that? Is it $100 too much? $50, $25. They work down until the customer indicates a ceiling like, okay, maybe we could handle $700.
And they compliment the customer then.
Yeah, okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. Sounds like you know your budget. Then there's this silence tap in rule. Once the numbers are on paper, the salesperson goes quiet. They wait for the customer to break the silence, to tap in with a question or comment. It forces engagement.
Intense. But what happens before they offer any discounts? You mentioned a value rebuilding process.
Yes. This is key. Before dropping the price, they run through the ADD subtract and multiply divide framework. It reinforces the value at the current high price.
Okay, break that down. ADD.
ADD is stacking up the value again, reminding them of everything they're getting. The stone-coated steel, the premium underlayment, the balanced ventilation, that 50-year warranty, the expert installation. They'll even ask what part of the system stood out the most to you and focus on those specific benefits the customer liked.
Subtract.
This is about the consequences of going cheaper. They challenge the customer. Okay, if we need to lower the price, what are you willing to give up? Would you go back to basic felt paper, use standard shingles instead of stone-coated, have a less experienced crew? The goal is to make the customer admit they don't want to sacrifice quality.
Multiply.
This focuses on the intangible benefits and long-term ROI. Peace of mind, freedom from leaks and repair, the real savings from insurance discounts because of the wind rating, the lower utility bills. They ask the customer to imagine life with the new roof. How does that feel? Trying to elicit words like relief, secure, proud.
And divide.
That's back to reduce to the ridiculous, showing that even the higher payment number breaks down to a manageable daily amount. Maybe that $700 a month is only $23 a day, reinforcing affordability.
So after all that value reinforcement, then comes the close.
Then comes step 9, close. This is where they finally make the offer, using incentives to push for a decision now.
What kind of incentives?
Typically, a promotional price incentive, PPI, may be tied to a current marketing campaign, and an installation schedule incentive, ISI, for booking the install quickly. Could be like 50% off the installation labor cost, plus another discount for scheduling within a certain time frame.
And they show this clearly.
Yes, often on a worksheet. It'll show the list price, maybe a line for what the customer thought it might cost, then subtract the PPI, subtract the ISI, leading to the final maybe price or real number on the table tonight. It makes the discounts feel earned and substantial.
And there's a closer's creed here. Sounds intense.
It is. The philosophy is play the whole game. Never say price first. Rebuttal re-ask before new numbers. Pack up to surface truth. Final offer only when earned. Close or get kicked out trying.
Wow. Back up to surface truth. What does that mean?
It's a technique where if things stall, the rep might actually start slowly packing their materials, signaling the meeting is ending. It can sometimes pressure the customer into revealing their real final objection if they actually are interested. It's high-stakes stuff.
And empathy, not sympathy.
Right. They're trained to say, I can appreciate that, or I hear what you're saying, which acknowledges the feeling without agreeing with the objection, saying, I understand, or you're right, can validate their resistance.
Makes sense. How do they handle specific objections like, I need to think about it?
They use a micro framework. Acknowledge, clarify, e-control. So acknowledge, okay, I hear you, clarify. So just to be clear, you're saying you need some time to think it over. Control. Got it. Other than the payment amount we discussed, is there anything else holding things back today? Trying to isolate the real issue.
And there's PIE.
It's a visual. They draw a circle, a pie. They recap all the things the customer agreed to, the company, the product, the warranty, the need, filling slices the pie. The last empty slice is always money. Then they ask, look, you're saying yes to all of this? What are you actually saying no to? It forces them to admit if it's just about the money.
And the sharp angle.
That's used when they've isolated the one final objection they can potentially solve, usually price, payment, or maybe timing. They'll say, okay, so if I can figure out a way to adjust the specific issue without taking away any of the quality or warranty you said you wouldn't give up, can we get this wrapped up and move forward right now? It's asking for the sale, conditional on solving that last specific point.
Very direct. Okay, so assuming they get the yes, step 10.
Step 10 is reassurance and paperwork. The deal's done, but this step is crucial for locking it in and preventing buyer's remorse. It's about making the customer feel good and clear about what happens next.
So collecting documents.
Yep, IDs, down payment, proof of income if needed. Handling the paperwork, usually electronically with DocuSign right there. Importantly, they have to carefully read through the right of rescission notice, making sure the customer understands their cancellation rights. Transparency is key here.
And then handing off.
Right. Submitting the loan application if financing is involved, and formally handing the project over to the production team, usually with a welcome packet explaining the installation process.
Any final words?
Absolutely. There's a final reassurance script congratulating them, reinforcing the benefits one last time, and of course, asking for referrals. They might even take a quick photo with the customer for the company's internal use or social media, if appropriate. Make it feel personal.
So looking back at this whole process, what's the underlying sales philosophy? It seems to be more than just steps.
Oh, definitely. It drills down into the mindset needed. The big takeaway is that it emphasizes discipline over raw talent. Following the process beats winging it every time.
Even for experienced salespeople.
Especially for them sometimes. The playbook stresses verbiage discipline, using the exact scripts and approved language for total control. Sloppy language, they say, creates openings for stalls and objections.
And the pricing strategy. Anchor high.
Yeah, anchor high with the premium solution, then drive towards the best value, not cheapest price. Present the best first, then adjust if necessary, but always reinforcing the value.
And that mantra, play the whole game.
Means you follow every step, every time with full effort. You don't skip steps, you don't give up early. You run the process from start to finish until the customer buys or literally tells you to leave.
And crucially, no hinting at discounts.
Never. That's a cardinal sin in this playbook. Never say, I might have some room, or let me see what I can do later. That just teaches the customer to wait. Discounts are specific tools used only at the closing stage when earned.
So consistency is everything.
That's the message. The training materials apparently highlight how people with no sales background can succeed just by following the playbook rigidly, while seasoned pros might fail if they try to improvise or add their own extra stuff.
It's about being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly. Following the script, asking the tough questions, sticking to the process even when it feels awkward. The idea is to get 1% better every day by just executing the playbook.
What an incredible look inside this structured sales world. It's so clear, isn't it, that success here isn't just about what you're selling.
It's absolutely about how you sell it. The psychology baked into every single step, every word choice is just immense.
This deep dive into the roofing playbook really highlights the power of a disciplined process, doesn't it?
It really does. And it kind of leaves you wondering, where else in your life or maybe in your business could applying a really clear step-by-step playbook and following it rigorously lead to surprisingly consistent results, maybe even better than relying on just gut instinct or natural talent alone?